Hello world, I'm LJ and this is LJ Goes Sweden. Today I am back here in my room and I will be giving you all the reasons on why I have decided to not sign the contract with Northvolt. I have therefore, my tablet here with some of the information I have written down. I try to go through this as structured as possible, but this is a one take, so I cannot guarantee anything. But before I will be starting, just a short information about tomorrow. I have booked the train to Örnsköldsvik and I will have the visit for the apartment. So I will take you on that trip tomorrow. I don't think I will show you the apartment already tomorrow, but I will be talking about it, if it's a good decision and all those things, if I like the landlord and all that. Yes. Okay, so let's start. Well, Northvolt. The first time I came in contact with this company was actually from my former flatmate in Germany when I have studied. He has realized, of course, that I wanted to move to Sweden, and he recommended me to just try to apply to that company. And I was going through their job descriptions to certain opportunities, and I have read a lot of night shifts, and I was like, oh, I don't want to do shifts, I don't like night shifts, and I don't know, I was not really too much into it. But as I have realized in Germany that I had no chance of actually receiving any job in Sweden, I also applied to Northvolt. It did not work. Well, then I came here to Sweden in the beginning of November, and I also applied to Northvolt for certain jobs, and they got in contact with me, and as you have realized over all the videos now, they have sent me a contract. But what is Northvolt in general? So Northvolt is a startup that has founded in 2015-16. I'm not 100% sure, and also I want to say that all of those things are just information based on my own opinion and on the things that I've read, heard, so there's no guarantee that I only drop the correct information here. But it was a startup, and the idea behind it is to build climate friendly batteries in Europe. And of course, this is a very promising thing. In Sweden, they have now also found a lot of rare materials, metals used in batteries further north in Kiruna. So it would be the perfect case to now start a battery production in Europe. And that is why a lot of German manufacturers have basically thrown their money to Northvolt. And because of that, this startup, this idea raised so fast. There was such a huge expansion. A lot of people got hired, and this idea of building a factory further in the north, very close to those metals that are needed for batteries, it seemingly did not really feel like a bad idea in the first beginning. However, well, I have talked to a lot of Swedish people and I have read a lot of reviews. So most of the Swedish people are very skeptic about this company, and this is mostly regarding the fact that this expansion from Northvolt is not only inside of the Swedish country, it's going internationally. So they are planning to build a factory in Germany. They are planning to build a factory in Poland, in Canada. And the biggest problem with that is they have not even started producing batteries in... I don't really know if they have started producing anything, or if they have not started with the whole procedure. But for the Swedish people, it feels like this is a scam. This is there's something wrong with that, because they are hiring and hiring and hiring, and they offer a lot of money. I will be talking about that later. But yeah, there something feels off for the people that come from Sweden, and there's a certain mentality that has probably created the skepticism caused by the founders of Northvolt. The founders of Northvolt are basically original people working for Tesla, for the original times under Elon Musk when they started producing the first Tesla Model S in, I don't know, was it 2013, 14? So they have been in that time, and they have left the company in 2015 and then started Northvolt. And I think they took this mentality, this visionary mindset of Elon Musk to Northvolt. So not starting low, instead just build so much expansion as fast as possible and think big. However, based on my opinion, I have this feeling that Northvolt is not going to succeed in the same way that Tesla has done over the last years. Of course, talking about the future, there's always a big question sign. But for me, as a person who likes the cars of Tesla because it's something different, I just have this feeling that Northvolt is just one of the battery producers like the others. So when Tesla was creating those cars, they first of all they did something special for the electric car market during the time when they were created, and they still have their goal to produce a car for less than 25,000 dollars, I think. And so they have a different path compared to all the original car manufacturers like Volvo or Volkswagen. But Northvolt produces batteries, and we have a lot of battery producers already in China, like Cattle, Panasonic, I hope it's Chinese, I think so, and BYD now also creating not only the batteries but also the electric cars. And also Tesla on the American side they are trying to produce their own batteries. So I don't know. I have a lot of skepticism also in my family, but this is not only regarding the batteries, it's more likely also regarding the whole electromobility. But so I don't want to say that Northvolt is not like able to exist in the next 10 years. That's not my opinion. I just think it is not going to skyrocket as Tesla did. And this idea, this expansion, this huge thinking, I have this bad feeling about it, because I think like you have not proven anything yet for the battery market, but you are expanding and expanding and expanding. And it feels like talk big but deliver low, and it should be the opposite. So, or at least talk big and also deliver high. Well, that is my thinking of Northvolt in general. And yes, so that was the thinking that I had even before I came into this whole recruiting period. But I was still very open, of course, to see the contract. And for me it was like, having contracts as much as possible makes decisions easier. Well, now I can just say, if I would only have one of both contracts, then of course the decision would be I take it without knowing anything else. But before I had Northvolt, even like before they offered me the job with a certain salary, and I only knew about Sanmina, I was so happy to take the job with Sanmina. And then they made an offer. And I just want to drop some of those information that they offered me. It's not the original value. I have like made some approximations between the different currencies. But basically they offered me 3,500 euros per month gross, so without the tax deductions. and additionally in the first 6 months 900 euros more. So I would earn 4,400 euros in the first 6 months. And of course, for a person like me coming from university, no work experience so far, this is like amazing. This is the best thing that you could think about. Then you get relocation tickets, so they would pay for your flight tickets, train tickets, whatsoever. They even give you a relocation container where you can, with the size of 15 square meters, so you can put all your things from wherever you are coming in this container. They bring it to Sweden, they store it somewhere if you have no apartment so far, and then they would bring it to you. Then you have wellness benefits, so a certain amount of money that you would get paid for taking massages or going to a gym. And wait, what else did I write? And and if you don't find an apartment, there's also like a camp where all the newcomers basically can sleep in, I think for like 2-3 months. And then they have this more time to maybe find an apartment. Maybe they can create a shared apartment with other people's. So all those things that this person offered me are amazing. And this is also something that I can just tell you again right now. This is my decision. It does not mean like if you are comfortable with this, if you have this mentality that Northvolt has, go for it, definitely. But I have to think about my life and my dream, and that is something different, as you will now see when I will be talking about my thinking. So I have moved to Sweden mostly because I wanted to have an easygoing life. Of course, life is never easygoing and just relaxing and you earn money for doing nothing, of course. But compared to Germany, it felt for me more like you are more nature. You have more chill people, at least here in the north. And I was looking for, the culture and just this different weather, the winters. And I was looking for that. And I also have my dream in the future is basically like having a house with my family, having maybe like a certain area of forest where I have animals like reindeers or moose running around in this area. Of course, it's dreaming. And I have really thought about it, and I definitely am not the person that is looking to make the biggest career in my life. Of course, I have dreams and I also have career ideas that I want to try to achieve in the future. But the goal is not to become rich and famous. I just want to do my life and easygoing within within the life. And one question that also came to my mind was always like, am I a risk taker? Because I always think like if you want to achieve a good career, then you have to be a risk taker. And I cannot really say that I'm not, because going to Sweden without a job, without knowing anybody, to a town that I have only been basically in for a few hours on 2 trips is definitely risky. And I love the risk. I also love adventures. But I am definitely not a person that likes to take risks when it's regarding a job. And that is the most important thing now for why I have decided against Northvolt. I have read reviews, and a lot of reviews basically say that first of all, the area right now in Skellefteå where Northvolt is building the factory looks like Mordor from Lord of the Rings, because it's still a construction zone. Then that you have bad working conditions. I think this is more regarding to the people creating or building the factories, so not the people in there, I don't know. And one of the biggest topic was definitely work-life balance. And if you think about my dream, why I moved to Sweden, it was because of life. not because of work, because if I would live for work, I could have just stayed in Germany and probably would have gotten a good job with a physicist position somewhere in academics. But this is not me. And reading about those overtime situations, like working overtime, and I was actually scared taking the risk. Of course, it could be like I go there to the company, I start working, and it feels amazing. And I'm so happy with all those different people because, of course, I love this idea of the international thinking. I have been to America, so of course, I love creating connections all over the world. But I think, and that is this idea again where we come to Tesla, you have to live for this idea. And I cannot do this with Northvolt. I could have probably thought about it with Tesla, but not with Northvolt, because there's too much skepticism around me and also in me. And yes, so what else was one of the biggest realizations that I had over the weekend? I have started calculating the salary and compared it to the Sanmina salary regarding like a cheap apartment and also a more central, very close to the company apartment. And I have realized that the only time that Northvolt would actually be the better money option would be in the first 6 months living close to the factory, to the working, not office, but to the Northvolt factory. However, in every other situation, I would either make more money living in Örnsköldsvik for Sanmina, or I would have again take away free time of my day, because of course we have an apartment, or not we have, but I have found an apartment very far away from Skellefteå, where I have to take the bus for 90 minutes to go to the company and then after work 90 minutes to go back to the apartment. And it's a very cheap apartment, it's very large, so it would be awesome. But compared to Sanmina, I have 2 hours more of traveling, thinking about somewhat like work, and I'm not able to really enjoy free time. And by comparing these hours of work now to the money that I would gain compared to Sanmina, it is not a lot. So in the first 6 months, I would gain 30 euros more per day by traveling very far to the apartment. And a lot of people can probably say like, okay, gaining 30 euros per day for doing nothing, sitting on a bus, yeah, we can definitely talk about this. However, when we go to the next 6 months, so the one where the salary drops again to the original offer, it would be less than 5 euros per 2 hours of bus driving. And that is not worth it. My life is worth more than 5 euros. And yeah, so with this realization, I have really thought about, okay, the salary, the benefits are the ones that, of course, came to my mind where I thought like, okay, Northvolt is the deal. But realizing how expensive Skellefteå is, with over 1,000 euros for a 20 square meter apartment in the town, no, that's not worth it. And to now conclude basically my decision, I just can say I have decided for life, for the feeling of more freedom, instead of taking the high risk but also maybe high reward chance. Could this be the wrong option? Definitely, it could be. Maybe in 2 years I will see Northvolt skyrocketing and then I can say, yes guys, I was wrong. But as of right now, having the first job in my life, it feels more like I should listen to my heart and also on the decision why I went to Sweden. And that is to learn Swedish, learn the Swedish culture, and not to go to the biggest company in the area and gain money. Yes, and with that said, I hope you can understand my decision. I tried to make this as, transparent as possible, and also, I just hope that that you can understand me, basically. If you have more questions, feel free to put them down in the comments. For me, I'm really looking forward to start working at Sandmina. I hope the apartment tomorrow is going to be amazing, and I'm very happy that I have made a decision. Okay, so I wish you a wonderful day and also a good start no, it's not even the weekend, I'm sorry. But tomorrow you will have weekend. So see you guys later. Bye bye.